Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday, July 1st. Currently about to be 5 p.m. Just waiting for a client right now. Pretty much late start. Pretty much just went to the gym. I'll just give you a breakdown of the whole day pretty much. So, per usual, morning job around 5 a.m. to I think today I got home a little earlier, like around 11:30. And then pretty much just got ready and then headed over to the gym. Got a workout in. Today was a back day. And then pretty much only had one client today, I believe. Quick hour session. And then now I just drove pretty much down the street. Then I'm waiting for a private client. And then may or may not have another client somewhere else. So that's pretty much it. Not much going on today. Weather here in Vegas is a little crazy today. It was pretty sunny and kind of not humid, but like kind of overcasty all day. And then out of nowhere, as I was about to leave to the gym, it just got crazy windy. Started drizzling a little bit, which is kind of odd. It's the middle of the summer, so lately it's been like 100 plus every single day. But today it's recently today it's a little like lower on the lower end of things. I believe it's like 91 right now, so it's not too bad. I guess it does benefit people here because we have to deal with all the heat. But anyways, today I just wanted to go over some simple diet techniques that you can use to make your training more efficient. Whatever your goal is to gain strength, muscle, just whatever it is. But pretty much it comes down to three things in my opinion, which is your preference. I think I just said things backwards. So 1, preference, 2, goal, and 3, your activity level. So let's start with 1, your preference. So this is pretty much your preference of diet. So what do you like eating around training, whether it's you like to do something like an intra workout, carb or something, or what you prefer to eat before or after. So there's a lot of things that you have to keep in mind that it comes to preference. So just because people are telling you to eat a yogurt or something before, and you don't like yogurt, then why would you? So that's that. And number 2, your goal. So everyone has different goals for the most part. Some people have similar goals, obviously, like me. My goal is to build muscle over time, slowly, obviously, and to make training as efficient as possible, gain strength, just overall improve. So in that case, one of the main components is going to be, really everything when it comes to carbs, protein, and fats. But around training specifically, the main focus should be carbohydrates and proteins. So this is why personally I like to consume before my workout something not too filling, but also not a carb source that is gonna do bad on my stomach and make me bloated or whatever it may be. I usually try to choose something that's quick digesting. So whether it's something shitty like cereal or Rice Krispie or whatever you want to call it, some people like to call that shitty, whatever. To each their own. Not everyone has a perfect diet. So, but something simple like that with a protein shake, that's usually my go-to, especially with my scheduling. That's usually my go-to. So, and then I do drink an intro workout, usually something like a Gatorade, but they do have like supplements that you can buy at the store that is just pure carbs. Just for sake of, I guess, practicality and also convenience, I just go with the Gatorade, just buy them at the store and just take it with me. I don't have to mix it up, nothing. But in terms of post-workout, I usually do something, because I have a meal soon after, I usually just do a protein shake. But if my goal at the time is if I'm bulking, then I'm gonna eat carbs right after, whether it's like a rice cake or something like that, rice cakes, just because if you're bulking, you have that flexibility to just get in as many carbs as you can, and just eat. Really, you have the ability to eat more than the normal person, such as myself. Nowadays I'm main gaining So I don't really have that flexibility as when I'm bulking. Right now I'm eating about 3,400 calories on average, and when I was at my peak bulk, and I was around like 215, 220 pounds, I was eating around 4,200 calories. So it's a pretty big difference. But that's that. So really keep in mind preference. Find meals that work for you, that work with your stomach, and that work with like that allow you to get a good training session in and whatnot. But one of the main things to keep in mind is that you shouldn't overconsume fats around your training, specifically before and during. Obviously during you're not going to be eating fats, but before, you shouldn't be consuming a meal that has a bunch of fat in it, just because that can get in the way of the absorption of your carbs that you're eating along with it. And keep in mind, you need those carbs to get a good workout in. And obviously, the carbs you eat the days before do translate to the workout at hand. But because it's a different day and whatnot, and those carbs are going to be readily available, if you don't eat all that fat, then it's important to not overconsume fat. So you can consume fat in pre-workout, just be very conscious of the fact that it can get in the way of your absorption of your carbs and really overall the feeling. Like personally me, if I eat too many fats before, I just feel sluggish, and I start burping, and it's just bad. I've literally in like the 2 weeks ago and the week before that, I decided to eat like a PBJ before. Holy shit, that cooked my stomach so bad. And that day was like a upper body day, and I'm doing currently like these T-bar rows on a like bench, and holy shit, my stomach was killing me. But lastly, it is your activity level. Something to keep in mind is that if you have like a very labor intensive job, you're going to be burning off tons of carbs. So you need to be conscious of that, and you need to be consuming those, back into your diet. So if you're like me and you have a labor intensive job in the morning and you're going to the gym afterwards, well, guess what? You just burned the shits and the carbs. So you better get those back in, whether it's like 50 grams, 60 grams, something. You can't just go to the gym like without nothing, It's not going to be the best workout, not going to be efficient. You're not going to get the most out of it. So I know I rambled and yapped a lot, but hopefully you guys can take away a few things from this. But that's pretty much it. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but that's pretty much the basis of it. Just try to keep your meals very simple, easily digestible, not hurting your stomach, not getting in the way of your digestion, allow you to be very mobile in the gym, and just overall allow you to progress. But yeah, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share if possible, and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Have a good day.